Hey, Melissa,
Yes.
you may have questions, but I have an issue. May I bring issue to Melissa has questions?
Please feel free.
Okay. Um, so first of all, this is a question. Can we talk about how this new moon in Virgo that we just had might as well have been an eclipse already? Was your energy,
Hmm. I was ill prepared.
you were ill prepared?
I was ill prepared because there was so much hoopla about the black moon as if it's a whole other entity, like a
Yes.
whole other thing.
Yep.
And so I mean, I understand why they call it that, but there are a lot of different terms, the blue moon, the this, the that.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, this is a new moon.
New moon, just new moon. It's like it became Virgo season, moon and Virgo. We're going to have two Virgo lunation situations, aka
I'm about to
eclipses.
do my wrong.
It's like new moon, plant seeds, right? Virgo, good moon, get shit done. Wah, wah.
Not.
So even
Yeah.
though this new moon was not an eclipse, it got it's got some eclipse flavor.
It was giving eclipse.
It was giving eclipse. It was
It
giving
was
eclipse. So we're talking about
so,
the August 22nd, 2025, or depending on where you are, August 23rd, 2025, new moon in Virgo.
yeah.
Felt like a lot. Felt like a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Well, this goes into what I kind of wanted to talk about today. So we'll come back
mhm.
if we need to about the specifics of the weekend.
Yeah,
But
because there's a lot, but there's a lot of other.
there's a lot of other. Last week, after we recorded Melissa Has Questions, episodes 19 and 20, we had a thing like we do every
Hmm.
month.
Hmm.
Rachel Lang and Rachel Lang, spectacular human being, amazing astrologer, activist, politician, artist, singer, musician
He's one of my favorite people.
on the planet. Just
Hmm.
truly one of my favorite people.
Hmm.
She and I co teach astrology for creatives. And after Astrology for Creatives live versions, we now have on demand Astrology for Creatives available for people who want to experience it. We do an ongoing Aligned MC's mastermind or mistress mind, maybe, of,
Oh.
yeah, of people who want to keep the party going. And we just get together once a month and we get on the Zooms and we talk woo. And
Hmm.
usually we do topics. And one of the topics that we've been planning to do for a while, and we finally did last week, was mediumship. Now, I go into it thinking Rachel's going to guide us. This is one of her expertise because sometimes it's my expertise. Most of the time, it's her expertise. Not gonna lie, most of the time it's hers because she knows a lot of things. But like if it's numerology, it's going to be me. If it's planetary remediation, it's going to be me. If it's mediumship, magic, things like that, it's going to be her.
Black holes, like
Black
her
holes,
things are like, who does that?
astrocartography,
She
fixed stars.
whiz.
Like she just knows everything. She's
Yeah.
so mediumship. I'm thinking we're going to learn here are best practices. Here's how to know that you're ready to do it. But
Joke's on us.
joke's on us because people started showing up for us,
Boy, they did.
starting with my bossy ass mom, throwing elbows, boom, boom, me. Because of course Rachel knows my mom. And my mom always shows up when Rachel is anywhere in my vicinity and doing mediumship. I was not prepared, to use the phrase from the new moon you mentioned.
Right, right,
I
right.
was not prepared for the emotions of this particular bit of work, and not just my own. It ended up everybody on the Zoom got a visit of some sort
Hmm.
or some kind of conversation opening. And I did ask Rachel, how do you protect yourself energetically from this sort of thing? But I felt a certain kind of way a while after this particular Zoom. I felt open.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if I've contracted an STD, spiritually transmitted dis-ease. You like that?
Yeah. Yeah. When we were talking about that the other day, I was like, that's it.
It's a
That's it.
spiritually, yeah. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and do I need a psychic condom for such
Sure.
activities? So I want to talk about today, if we may,
Yes,
if
female.
you also like this topic,
Mm-hmm.
things that we already do when we know we're going to be in energetically raw or open or unpredictable spaces, and what to do if you find you got tapped into some kind of energy that you weren't expecting, to get yourself back to your grounded, centered self.
Mm-hmm.
Because we work with people who have issues of big emotion sometimes
Yeah.
and big energy.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about how to prep when we know we're going into it, how to disconnect, and then what to do if we have contracted an STD and would like to take something to
To knock it off,
knock it off,
cut it out.
cut it out, to stop the breakout,
Yeah.
to cool the eruption.
The sting. Yeah. I feel like my facial expressions are a bit traumatic, but thank you for being there when you were, because at some point I was like, okay, is it, I had family coming in town, and that that in of itself is just, anytime your schedule is disrupted, even if you have a great time with your family. Solar return. Well, this happened. We did our thing.
Yes.
Then the mediumship. Then
Yes.
the next day, solar return. Then the next day,
New moon.
but yes, like birthday,
Oh, your
and then the
actual
new
birthday.
moon,
And then
and then the party. So at some
an
point, I was like, I
eventful.
can't tell what's what. And then you the other day go, I knew something was going on because you've just gone silent. Like you
I
went
remember
dark.
this
I
is
haven't.
the longest I have ever gone without getting a text from you. I legit was like, okay, that girl either tied one on and good for you, or she's like,
No,
I just can't.
no, no. I was just managing what I could. So,
That was a lot. And you
mhm.
had family in town on top of everything else. That's a lot of energy. I don't know. I mean, your family, my family, all families, that's a lot of energy.
Oh, it is. It really is. So in order of, I don't know, order of importance. So what is it? How do you want to structure this? It
That's
feels even still so like this. I'm like, I don't even really know where to start.
we opened a thing. We opened a thing for
Okay.
sure. I wanna first do, if you know you're headed into a thing, what do you do to protect yourself energetically from picking up energetic hitchhikers from anybody? And this is not just like, oh, I'm doing mediumship. This is, I'm on a Zoom with a group of
Right.
people and there's someone there that's like an Eeyore, and I do not want to be taken into everything so negative by this person. And
Right.
especially if you're a helper, you're a healer, you're a fixer, you have actually good ideas that would help them, you may feel yourself drawn to them energetically, even if that's not your role in that particular group.
Right.
So like knowing you're going to go
For
into
sure.
open energy, what do you do? Do you do stuff? Because I know you have clients. I mean,
Yeah. I do stuff, and I'll go ahead and readily admit that in spite of your encouragement and calling yourself bossy and recommending books and things like that, there are times
I'm
when
boss.
I was like, it's not bossy when you're being caring. There are times when I really neglect that, like my daily routines and energetic hygiene is not great. And I think that for a good part of my life, it's made me physically and emotionally sick. It's different than it was for sure. But I
Okay.
think now that over the past however many years, now that I allow myself to I'm open to the idea and very well aware that I'm not just dealing with family and friends and clients.
Right.
It's inside, up, down, forward, backward, terrestrial, otherwise. And so that's really taken some like looking at it very, very differently. So a lot of what I do is I'm an external processor. And so if there's something coming up, I'll talk about it and even play it through to the best of my ability. What might I say? How might I handle this? Knowing good and damn well that, you know, but at least if I can visualize, like, where am I going to be? How
Yeah.
might this go down? Those types of things.
Get
So,
prepared for the things you can know about the
yes,
situation you're going into.
yes.
Like I had a thing last week after we met to do Melissa Has Questions. I had to go out and people. I haven't
Mhm.
peopled in, it feels like a decade. And I prepped myself by looking at the venue's photos so that I knew likely where we were going to be, and of the possibilities I could pick out, here's a place where I can go to get away from energy that feels like too much. Here's a way that I can look out from the rooftop and see the ocean easily and
Mhm.
connect with nature even though I'm up on top of a building, things like
Right.
that. That's one of the ways that I prep energetically, is I actually
Mhm.
visualize the place with actual photos if I can find them.
Yes. Same, same.
Okay.
I am depending on what it is, like, particularly for like social outings. And my friends make fun of me about this, but I will often say, who's going to be there?
Yep.
Because I mean, and they're like, we're enough. And I'm like, it's not that you're enough, it's that some other people are too much. And so I want to know, not because, every time I want to avoid certain circumstances, but there might be interactions between other people. It's not like and I have a beef with someone. It's sometimes like I don't have it to give. And so I do want to know. I almost always take my own car. I want an escape route. I want out of there.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to, I can
Because
be really on or off.
while it may feel good to have a wingman and be able to connect with someone so that y'all can, hey, let's have each other so that we don't have this drama that's going on around here, it can though put you at the whim of somebody else's energy and schedule and needs. So I like that. I like that. Um, I will, if I'm going to Zoom, and the reason I'm breaking in to do this one is because I didn't do it before we started specifically so I could show it, because I was hoping we could talk
Oh.
about this. I have on my chair here a a good old black pocketed cocktail waitress bartender apron. Okay, you get these on the internet. And I, before every Zoom that is going to do anything energetic, which is pretty much all of them, I will put this on to cover my lower chakras, because what this boundary does, and the pockets can hold crystals if I really need to put some protection in there, put some obsidian, put something that is like a shungite, something that is a really good protector against incoming energy. By protecting the lower chakras, I stay grounded, I stay rooted, and I still allow access to plenty of my chakras and a lot of my energy. I'm still open hearted. I'm still going to go with my gut. I'm still going to obviously throat chakra, third eye, crown, all, I'm definitely going to be available, but there's a couple of places that I'm not going to access when I am showing up somewhere in service of other people's energy. And so even though these conversations that you and I have I could do without this because we're hanging out.
Right.
I know the places that we go in our conversation cause me to tap into really strong memories and sense memories of
Mhm.
stuff that I'm going to want to have a
Protect.
boundary for. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even if we're friends, when we're talking deeply about things, even though we're goofy and silly, the you even though I'm not throwing it at you, it's if you're an empath is such like a thrown out there word, but it's if you're porous,
Yeah.
so even when just I've got so many things now that I'm thinking of. I guess I
Oh,
don't
good.
think through a lot of them, but I just do them. But there are some things that I definitely could handle really differently. And I believe it'll be necessary just based on some more recent experiences. But like when your person came to
Yeah.
person people
Yeah.
came to you,
There was a posse. Yeah.
I just
My mom was like, look what I got. Look what I'm like, oh my God, I hadn't even thought about that. Okay. Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, I could see that. And I mean, I can cry at anything, but because I'm connected to you and, I felt that. And then I started crying. And I just didn't even consider like maybe I ought to do a thing.
Yeah. 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 And here I was like in my smock and I still was just like, what? Um,
Right.
it's do you burn an incense? Do you have like some kind of elemental protection? Like I
Yes.
always have something that represents fire and water and earth and air in my client space.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to the live event, I had a crystal in my bra because I'm like, if I'm gonna put on a bra, I should put a crystal in it because
Yeah.
like,
If you're going to the trouble, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that felt great. I had a little moonstone. It was the
Yeah.
Cancer moon when we were doing this, and so it was balsamic
Mhm.
moon, and I'm like, I just this little moon shaped moonstone that it just was like little underwire. It was great. Um, Rachel said she takes off her rings to
Mhm.
say I'm open and then puts them back on to say I'm closed.
Close for business.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I never considered that. I really, really never considered that. I mean, yes, there are some things that I do, and I can totally say that, but um, I guess what I never considered until maybe 2 years ago, there was a thing that happened and an experience that I had, which is certainly not the first, of many. I don't know how many years ago, and then two really intense things that happened about the same time that I heard this thing. I was on a walk, it was Christmas Eve. It was this experience. And then at some point, I got back to you guys in the group, and y'all were like, and then just because of how it's not just how I sleep, but because I'm just dialed in. I'm like, "Oh, what was that?" Or, "Oh, I see this." And my sister for sure is the same way. And she and I have been able to talk about that. But it was when I talked to you about it at some point, you were like, "Well, you wouldn't do this with a regular person. You would not allow some stranger to just show up in your bedroom and wake you up and start talking to
That's
you."
right. You got boundaries.
Yeah, so, whether it's salt, whether it's ceremony, whether it's ritual, whether it's whatever, and, that is very helpful. And then regarding that, like when I'm awake and something happens, like a
Mm-hmm.
startle or something, you were like, if you could just ask for it to not be so like violently like a startle response, if they maybe could just like tap you or something, or like in the at times when I'm something's going on and I feel like why is the ringing in my ears, and I don't have the tinnitus. I
Same,
don't.
same.
And so what I've started doing is like, okay, I went through a period of time after coming back from the pyramids when I was like, oh my God, what happened? So many planets me. There's a and so what I started doing was, okay, I don't know what's going on, if this is it's from inside, outside, or whatever, but I'm paying attention. would it be possible to just have the download where I don't have to show up and do a lot of thinking about it? Like, just like, could I just have a knowing?
Ooh.
Instead of having like, I'm doing enough problem solving in this real world here. So I've definitely done that, but with though, like trying to keep boundaries. I know this isn't a prevented, no, some of it is preventative. That is true.
Oh, it is. It is. It
Some
is.
of it is.
You mentioned salt. I'm going to share in the description my favorite black salt recipe
Yeah.
for protection. You can take black salt with you. You can have it in a little vial. Another thing for the bra, I'm like basically gonna this like again, if you're gonna wear it, might as well use it. It's pockets, God's pockets. There you go. Having it in the corners of the room or at the doorway itself. Dressing doors with oil. That's the thing. Putting oil. One of the things that happened when we were in this mistress mind of aligned MCs is I was like, okay, grabbing this oil, grabbing this oil. I'm like, oh, this is the one. And I keep it a defense blend that I keep right here, that this one is just like a,
Mhm.
but oils are good. Incense is good. Crystals. Yes. Getting specific with what you will allow.
Yeah.
Like that ability to say, I wouldn't let someone walk into my bedroom in the middle of the night,
Right.
wake me up and start talking to me, which means I gotta say, yeah, closed open sign. Like you could actually physically put up a sign and turn it so that it's like I have set the rules because they are respected, generally. Um, and I am coming up on 9 years sober as we're having this conversation. And I know for a fact that the number one thing I used to help buffer me against energy that was too much for probably 15 years was vodka. That was my tool of choice
Mm-hmm.
because, and I learned eventually that many people who identify as empath or don't know that they're an empath end up learning, oh, that's what that was about.
Yeah.
Using alcohol as a buffer, a dulling of the senses
Yep.
of that extrasensory perception is a very real thing. That
And it
is
helps until it doesn't.
that part. Right.
Because people are doing it because it helps.
That's right.
I mean, it helps with that, like whether it's showing up at a party and just kind of being a little bit dulled,
Yep.
instead of figuring out how to open the slots for whether the dam or, like a sifter or something like that, and then close them, open, close. So yeah, I bet you did do a lot of that. I get it and I can relate to that.
So much. It's like in the movie Ghost, Oda Mae Brown is played by Whoopi Goldberg, is suddenly surrounded by spirits that show up in her space. And there's this scene where it's like the room is just filled. And she's like, Sam, since you came into my life, look at all these people. Because before that, she had been just running a game.
Right.
And then when she actually had real contact, suddenly they all start showing up. And I'm like, that feels like my life sometimes. Like just, oh, good, we got her. We can come in. We can come in. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, in a good way. I'm not scared by it at all. My someone in my
Right.
family passed last year, and I was probably the one most open to, you can come, you can come talk to me. It was in an freak accident, and I was like, you can come talk to me if you want. And I had okayed it, but my dog had not okayed it, and my dog started like, and it really happened on what would have been his next birthday. That was
Mhm.
when I did a ritual and specifically said, feel free to come on in. And my dog was like, no, 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 no. My sweet little Cancer moon dog was like, not invited. Do not like this energy. And I was like, oh, I guess I probably should put some boundaries around the whole, like, hey, you're welcome to come talk to me. Maybe I need to be a little more specific and structured,
Mhm.
like during this
Yeah.
container, during Saturn's hour. You can use planetary hours. During Saturn's hour, I am
Mhm.
open for business because then there are going to be boundaries to it, as opposed to moon hour. Come on in when I'm like a sponge and I can get a lot soaked up into that
Mhm.
sponge.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't considered that.
I love using planetary hours, planetary days of the week, numerology, obviously.
Mhm.
Anything that we like, moon moving through different signs. If you are doing
Right.
something specific, use what's already happening in the woo weather to create the boundaries, release
Yeah.
the boundaries, whatever it is that needs to happen.
Mhm. And I mean, the same can be true the other way. Like if you want to be open to something and if there's been a bit of a block and you're like, no, I want to be open and I need some support for that,
Yes.
then I'll tell you one of the things that, do you want to say anything more about that?
I have an example that I'll put after yours. It's I was
Okay.
going to go to another part of this. I am complete with what I was saying.
Okay.
Tag, you're it.
All right. I have the talking stick now.
Yes, you do. And I have the jazz hands.
You're gonna get a pop-up on Zoom.
Oh, sh-
Um, very quickly, some of the things that I do in my client practice, showing up and clearing space. I have a Tibetan singing bowl. Walk through, have a little bell. I try to be careful about the lighting things. Some people cannot stand Palo Santo. Some people really don't like sage. So I'm
and
careful
there are
about
also like
that
cultural rituals and
for sure.
be very respectful of the way things are used.
Well, and also
As
the
white ladies, like
sourced things as
it,
well.
if exactly like we want to make sure we are respectfully using pumpkin spice latte because I think that's all we've got. I'm kidding. I don't drink coffee, but still.
We can use different herbs and things like that.
Take your giant hat, take your oversized hat, light
Yeah,
it.
I mean, all of that. I mean, water is really a big deal to me.
Same.
Soaking in the water. I mean, I've said before to several people, and not in a morose way, but if it's been intense, I'm like, I wish I could just sink to the bottom of something cool and lovely and just stay there. Just feel the water around me, whether, it's some of what I do, because you can't do that between clients, is going in and having like a ritual hand arm washing up here. A lot of times I sit on the ground when I talk to my clients. I mean, I'll ask, may I sit on the ground? Is that okay with you? Because I feel really grounded. I'm sure people have, I do lots of moving because I've got I'm quirky bird, neurodivergent, but I do a lot of rocking just like for self-soothing. I do like some low grade hand movements sometimes on when I'm on Zoom to just kind of like push that energy away. The other day when we were on, I could have probably poisoned myself with the Palo Santo. I shut off the Zoom. I was listening, but I was so like I was physiologically like all of it, and I turned it off, moved around, drank water, did all of the things to try to just like what the
Well, and
hell's
this is
going
a this
on?
is a yes and to the people pleaser in everyone listening to this. Don't be afraid to turn off your camera
Yeah.
and let yourself disconnect visually. That's huge and
Mhm.
should be encouraged, supported, allowed, and not shamed at all. Going
Right.
off camera is incredibly helpful on Zoom.
Right.
I have a kind of
Oh,
session
yeah.
I do that's audio only, audio and screen share.
Really?
I find for there are certain people who need that kind of session with me, and I find that that kind of session allows me to access things that I wouldn't be able to if I had to be present
Right.
visually.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes I mean, I even know Rachel does that, when we've been talking and she's like, you know, she's trying to, okay, what's going on? What's happening? What's the message? So yeah, sometimes it's like you don't want to be on stage doing your thing. Yeah, what's going on up there? When I went to Teo and met with the curanderos, two of them, Estella and Hilda, they are some of my favorite people too. Lovely, lovely, lovely people. I met with them one time in the spring of last year, one time in the fall of last year. Such vastly different experiences. And the last time I was there, I was just talking to them about how I was so open, and Hilda was like, no, like she wasn't saying don't ever be open to it, but she was like, you need to protect yourself. You need to wear a hat. Like sometimes wear a hat, protect your head. You're just like open like this.
Love that advice.
And the other thing she told me was to get some obsidian and put it in my belly button.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and so will do that sometimes before seeing clients, and then take that out and wash that. And, but again, I can be pretty, if we're just going to be shaming of ourselves, I can be really lazy with spiritual hygiene.
And I think that's why the STD, from, because I know these days it's not called STD out in the streets.
Right.
Our generation, Gen X, grew up with, oh, you're gonna get an STD, you're gonna get VD, you're gonna, like, I mean, like,
Yeah.
that was all right. So much shame around it, and yet I I will admit I was not as quick to the condom party as I probably should have been, considering, and should
Yeah.
is a shame word. So thanks, Daddy Saturn, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But slash and, um, you know, healthier when protections are taken. And sometimes you're still not gonna. Sometimes you're gonna be lazy about it. You're gonna be sloppy with it. And let's
Right.
use all those words and don't, decouple the shame from any of it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen sometimes. We're gonna be more casual about it. And then what do we do to cut the cord or turn that off? I remember texting with you not too long ago. This was not this most recent time, but a time before or so. And I asked, did you close that circle? And Melissa's like, hang on.
I said I did not. And then I did it again. So I got a VD. It was a vibrational dis-ease. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
When you notice, oh shit, I left that open.
Yeah.
What do we do? What's the medicine? Do you
Well,
say, hey, I need you to go, like, mosey on? One of my favorites is like
okay, what I did.
tapping out, like just flick off the
Yeah.
energy, dry brushing,
I was doing a lot of this, like,
yeah,
getting off me, getting
shaking,
off me. Yes, a lot
tapping,
of that.
doing any kind of EFT, bilateral stimulation,
Yep.
is good, because that really allows the brain to kind of cut past the meridian with bilateral stimulation. I love that. What did you do when I reached out and when I said, what's that circle doing? Did you float tank? Did you ever float tank?
Yeah, yeah. But then I got neurotic and was like, am I gonna fall asleep and drown and be under the water? No, it's I need to try it again. I really do. I'm in a very different place in my growth.
Gotcha.
So there are two things you're talking about. What I did the first time was I did not close the circle. I came home because that was I didn't even see, yeah, I kind of saw, but I pieced some things together, and there were 3 people who had perished in a situation. It was very clear to me. So then I came home and I was doing research.
Well, that'll get you, because then you know the facts behind the feelings.
I know. Well, yeah, and I already did.
Yeah.
I mean, I already did, but I was trying to figure some things out. And then I did. I mean, I set up the people in that situation need something more permanent to be, in my opinion, to be honored and remembered, because they were most certainly forgotten. So I did some things in my house,
Nice.
but it wasn't for a few days.
Like an altar, like
Yeah.
okay.
This last time, last Wednesday caught me off guard, both of us. And you were texting me going, I'm thinking how much she's right behind your shoulder.
I was like,
Right there.
like, my mom's bossy, but you got some bossy too.
And it
Somebody's
needed to
coming.
be said. Yes. She needed to say what she said. It was so important. And it
So
was
great.
so
Great.
relevant because in this very room where all of this went down, I think I told y'all I was up until 4 that morning finishing the grief book that was probably inspired by, a lot of that initially. And the picture on the front cover.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Finish that
oh,
sentence for the people listening. The
the
picture
the
on the front
picture on
cover.
the front cover was a picture taken from her house when 4 of us got together and had the first it was her birthday, the first year birthday, like just a couple weeks after she died. And so I was like, is she telling me like enough? Like enough, not don't ever feel, but like, hey, there's a way to like close the circle and you can still grieve. And also my death does not define, I don't want my life defined by my death.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
texted someone and I said, I feel like I know I have a message. I don't want to talk about it right now. Everything is good. I'm safe. There's not an issue, but please don't let me forget. And so I got together with the group, the small group. I let them all of them know. And actually it was on my birthday.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, here's the message. And of course, they were all just like, okay. And we cried a little bit and then laughed and we invited her to the party. But she was around that next day because there was a weird situation with the blanket and I left the room and the blanket then wound up folded on the floor. I mean, just like stuff. And that's when you were like, did you? And I
Close
said,
that
I did
circle.
not. I did not. So it was
That's
a
like
hey,
Bossy Bond coming at you again. Here we go. Get ready.
hey, I love you. I heard the message. Drop in and say, hey, let's close this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how that went down.
And it's just a request. It's just a
Yeah.
or a statement of a boundary.
Yes.
Um,
Message heard. Message will be delivered. Love you, mean it. Come
yes.
to the party.
And as we're talking about the texting and stuff, I want to mention don't be afraid to put people on do not disturb or mute, like certain
Right.
people who will charge into your energy and share da, 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 that being able to go, ooh, either airplane mode and I'll open my phone later,
Yeah.
or if you can't disconnect from all of the people, you can individual people put on like quiet status, or I call it in email back in the email days. It's I used it as the bait box, the bait inbox. If you have someone that is triggering or hard for you to take, every time they email, their stuff goes into a bait box.
Yeah.
And then that way you only go to it knowing I'm about to get into it. Let me make sure I feel protected.
You don't get surprised.
So I don't get surprised. I'm ready for whatever this is going to be. And it could be anything, which could surprise me, but I'm not going to let it surprise me energetically because that stuff's important. And
Mhm.
I felt the need to mention that because when we are texting with people, like I'm just imagining texting people saying, I'm okay. Like you had to let them know I'm okay. I just have something to share. Don't let me forget. Like those types of things we also need to do to ourselves, like protect from what is the energy that's coming at us. And some people aren't good about, hey, are you cool? Can I share this with you? They'll just go, bleh. We all have people like that in our
Right.
lives.
Right.
It's a lot. So
We
what do you
do.
do for energetic hygiene around all of that? I think we've come up with quite a few really good tools here. And there's a part of my brain that's going, okay, so that's going to be a class, a book, a download, a list, because I got to
And then afterward, when it happens,
turn it
when
into.
you're like, what have you done? And I said, I slept. I
Yes.
just took a nap. I slept. I put my cool pillow over my face and I slept. And
Hydration, sleep, rest, same as everything. Rest, hydration, bubble wrap,
mhm.
always good. Disconnect from people. I just,
What did you do?
I got
So
to not.
you had on your apron the other
I
day.
already had my apron on because we were doing a group where I'm a facilitator and oftentimes we'll need to pull on things with clients there, which happened. But I became one of the
That's right.
people in the mix. I didn't expect it. So I was still kind of like, whoop. Um, during what I did during was pick up some oils, pick up some crystals. They're always close by.
Right.
And I did some bilateral stimulation below here, which is just passing something, anything from
Mhm.
one side to the next, and you hand off right at the center, because the brain cannot stay on a topic when you cross the meridian.
Midline.
That's right. The hemisphere crossing of the handing off the physical thing causes the brain to go, wait, wait. And then that can be enough to interrupt that
Right.
pattern. So I did some of that, and I did it below where y'all didn't necessarily need to see it. This is something I love. I don't remember turning off my camera and doing anything like actually patting down or flicking off or brushing off, but I know I did all of that after. I know I soaked in the tub. I did a dry brushing before soaking in the tub. We were headed into the new moon anyway, so a lot of this was already stuff that I
Yeah.
was preparing myself for energetically. Um, I also thanked my mom specifically for
Mhm.
being so clear in her communication that we don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what it is. Very direct. Because I want to encourage that. I like direct, like when the other family member just kind of indiscriminately came in because I was not specific about how I wanted them to come in. That was hard on me. It was hard on my dog. It's
Yeah.
easier when we say, here are the guidelines, follow them, and then they are respected, which is great. So I also want to encourage when they are respected. Thank you for that. That was great.
Right.
Did a little journaling, not much, same amount I would do with any new moon coming. Um, just a couple of little observations. And then I just asked, are we done? Are we good?
Mhm.
Um, I think I created a transcript of the conversation because I know I really went out of my mind and did not hear at all some of what the message was. And I've not yet read that back because I want to get into a certain
Yeah.
space before I do.
I need to watch it and listen. Like,
Yeah.
same. I
But
had all kinds of notes on a page, and my people were like, "What?" It's like,
right.
okay.
And that's what one of the reasons I love a transcript too, is because sometimes revisiting, rewatching, like a replay could actually become a little triggering.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, because everybody had a something, I can't do all that again this soon. I have the option to because I
Mhm.
have the recording, of course, but the transcript I can just go skim and I can take it
Yeah.
in a different energy.
Mhm.
How about you? What'd you do after, other than Bossy Bonnie telling you to close circle?
Well, immediately after, I got right into a client session.
Oh, honey.
But, I just didn't know.
Oh no, we schedule our lives not knowing that, oh, this one's gonna, I'm gonna need extra time after this. We don't. But honestly, in quarantine times, I started getting way more generous with the buffer time between Zoom sessions, because I've been a Zoomer from way back, not generationally, but I mean using Zoom in client meetings because I have clients all over the world, and that's always been true. It was Skype before, and then it became Zoom in like 2017 or something. And I would go back to back to back. I'd like, I gotta go. I got a client
Yeah.
coming in. We gotta get you out of here so the next one can come in. I at quarantine times went, I cannot do as many of these per day as I thought I could do because the energy is different and I'm different. I'm sober now. So that's like, I need more space to change gears. And I don't like going immediately into something. Buffer
I
time,
should
buffer.
have left an hour. I thought I was gonna have 30 minutes.
Right.
I
But
was
of
doing
course we
like
went over, and yeah,
all of that, but still, I just kind of went, push that down, and showed
I do.
up.
I do. Because we got to do a job.
Yeah. And then wasn't bad. It wasn't like there was a come apart. It was trying to figure out also I think also using wisdom, discernment about who you share these things with.
For sure. Because we as a group shared a really special little time there,
Hmm.
like that was very clear that,
Yeah.
wow, this group, wow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Is there anything else we need to share with this? Ooh, those of you experiencing this episode. What do you do?
Oh.
What's your energetic hygiene before, during, after, if any? And if you've never had any, but you're thinking it sounds like it might be a good idea, share with us. Because it's an overwhelming amount of things you could do because you want to choose what aligns with your chart, your needs, your settings, your porousness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Mm-mm.
This is good. Thank you. We're going to close this circle now. This has been really great. There's a lot of energy that has come here. I don't know if this will pick up on the mic. Did it? A little bit? All right. Love you.
Love you.